11 million Nigerians to fall into poverty by 2022, says federal government. Welcome to the news and thank you for tuning in to listen. At least 11 million Nigerians were pushed into the poverty rank in 2022 due to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Wow. What do we have here? At least they're truthful for one thing. And I don't know how it's seeming like it's going to be a sigh of relief. I don't know what they thought about before coming out to say this. I mean, it's like you're governing a country and you're telling them that, a good population of them would go from level, let's say, 50 to 0. And I don't know how tingling that can be, especially when you are the one that is supposed to ensure that this does not happen. It's the one delivering the news to them. But coming out and say this is a pandemic, Yes, the pandemic did its own. But I tell you, here in Nigeria, yes, people are struggling, yes. But has the pandemic or the insecurity in Nigeria, plunged us more? Please allow me to talk. It is the insecurity in Nigeria. The COVID pandemic, people would have been able to do more for themselves if they have a stabilized, secure environment where businesses can thrive. It is only when we have a secure, stabilized environment that businesses and the economy will be allowed to thrive or be permitted to thrive. So saying putting the whole blame on the pandemic, I do not. I'm not in support. I'm not in support at all. Now the news in detail. Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, stated this at the National COVID-19 Summit in Abuja. Represented by the Director General of Budget Office, Ben Akabueze, the minister explained that a pandemic had worsened the recession, which has pushed an additional 6.6 million Nigerians into poverty in 2020. According to her, before the pandemic, about 2 million Nigerians were expected to fall into poverty by 2020 as population growth and outpaced economic growth. The pandemic, he said, jacked up the number, bringing the total newly poor to 8.6 million in the same year. This implies an increase in the total number of poor in Nigeria from about 90 million in 2020 to about 109 million in 2022. The thing is, I said earlier that how does it sound when the people who are supposed to make sure this does not happen are the ones bringing out the news? These people have failed, sincerely. Let's say, for instance, the military comes out and say, oh, I'm sorry, but the Boko Haram and the terrorists, they are going to be attacking, this particular state and this particular state. Sincerely, this is not the kind of news you just drop on people, especially just like the Nigerian army themselves are the people who are meant to combat these people, and make sure that whatever they are threatening to do does not see the light of the day. So I feel, sincerely, they have failed us. They have failed us woefully. And the annoying thing is, they have failed us, and yet you can't still tell them you have failed them. This is the kind of administration where they don't listen. They hardly listen to suggestions. Yes. And when I'm saying they, I'm not talking about one person, because I tell you, one person alone cannot run the affairs of this country. If one person alone can run the affairs of this country, I tell you, if one good man goes there, it is going to be another story. But because one good man in the presence of others who do not want good to thrive, sincerely, it's going to be a hell of a time. Under Buhari administration, never you expect good things from this government. Worst thing is coming after you, Southerners, choose another Fulani man as your president. Okay. They are the cause of all this poverty and may overtake all the people behind the problem, facing millions of poor people in this country. They are doing the opposite of the promise to millions of poor people in the country. Exactly. These people, during their campaign, they will come out, and that is their model. They will come out and tell you, I will do roads, I will bring Nigeria out of the, I will make sure the insecurity stops in 1 year. I will make sure the economy is revived and stabilized and grows. I will. Now enough of the I will. I will, but the willpower is not and never ever there. So what I think anyone should do now, come 2023, the new administration will be coming in, is that these people prove to us how they're going to do this thing. You will do this. How will you do it? Tell us. What is your plan A? What is your plan B? What is your plan C? What do you have in store for us? If your plan A fails, what will we do? How long are we going to try out plan A? And if it fails, how long are we going to try out B? Of course, we need people who are proactive. That is why I keep saying that anyone who comes into the administration now, I mean somebody who becomes the president, and let's say, for instance, this issue of insecurity is cleared within 1 year, it is going to be slapped to their faces. So, of course, this is what Nigerians want. But it only help to say this government or this administration has not really been doing anything from their own end. Are these 11 million people not included in the vulnerable Nigerians? This is well. That is well. Oh my goodness. People are really, really angry. With or without COVID-19, you have been living with poverty due to your ill governance. What about the fairy tales of lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty? It's a fairy tale. Of course, you said it yourself. It is a fairy tale. Indeed. It is indeed a fairy tale. APC government is saying this just to justify her 5,000 naira monthly to 40 million Nigerians, which will spark off spiral inflation to make her prediction of a poverty reality. If religiously paid, also ended up in the purse of big-time politicians, if partially paid or paid to faceless Nigerians. Whatever they say, I'm saying that about that 5,000 naira thing. That is a big scam. It is failing before. This one is not even failing on arrival. It is a plan that we fail. It is a plan that we fail because look at the similar thing that happened during the COVID-19 period, and there was distribution of food that never got to people who really needed them. There was distribution of food that never got to people who really needed them. So that's one. It's at the end of the day, it is a means to loot funds. That is just the truth. Scorecard of the ineptitude called Buhari. Thank God they did not lie about it, but it is likely conservative figure, as the real figure may be up to 15 to 20 million. This is not unexpected, as Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world, a feat achieved under this present government. Sad indeed. On this note, we have come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of the day.